She collapsed in his arms before she even knew his name. Blood running down her cheek, breath shaking, eyes wide with shock. And he, just a single dad on his way home from a late shift, held her like she was the only thing that mattered in the world. Cameras flashed. Sirens screamed. People recorded. But before anyone could thank him, before she could even say a single word, the man who saved the most powerful woman in the city disappeared into the crowd and never looked back. What she did next would change both their lives forever. Rain soaked the evening streets as Mark Bennett pushed his daughter's stroller through the narrow sidewalk, muttering softly to keep little Emma awake. She had fallen asleep too many times that week before dinner. If she did it again, the entire night would collapse into tears and tantrums. Mark had learned every trick a single father could learn. Songs, games, silly noises, but nothing prepared him for what happened the moment he turned the corner. A black SUV skidded onto the pavement, tires screeching, headlights blinding. A woman stumbled out, clutching her briefcase. Fear painted across her face as two masked men lunged toward her. Mark froze for half a second. The stroller wheels clicked to a stop. Emma's small eyes blinked open. And the woman, the one in heels, far too expensive for this part of town, ran. One of the masked men grabbed her wrist. She screamed. People watched. Some filmed. No one moved, but Mark had been through too much in life to freeze. Losing his wife had changed him. Becoming a father had rebuilt him. Now instinct took over. He pushed the stroller behind a mailbox, unplugged the brake, and ran toward her. Let her go, he barked. The attacker turned, raised something metallic, but Mark didn't stop. He tackled the man to the ground with a force that shocked everyone, including himself. The woman stumbled back, gasping for air, clutching her bruised wrist. The second man swung a metal bar toward Mark's head, but Mark rolled, grabbed the nearest trash bin lid, and blocked the hit. Pain shot through his arm. He heard Emma cry from behind the mailbox, and his blood ran cold. No one touches my kid. No one. With a burst of strength, he shoved the attacker against the SUV door. Police sirens wailed in the distance, drawing closer. The two men scrambled, cursing, and fled into a narrow alleyway. The SUV screeched away seconds later. Mark exhaled heavily. Turning back to the trembling woman, she looked at him as if he had stepped out of a dream, as filled with gratitude, shock, and something else he couldn't name. Are you okay? Mark asked, brushing rain from his forehead. Before she could speak, her knees buckled. Mark caught her mid-fall, holding her close. I've got you, he whispered. Her breath shivered. Blood trickled down her temple. For a brief moment, their eyes locked, hers wide and vulnerable.
Oh,
his steady and reassuring. The police finally arrived, lights flashing red across their faces. A medic rushed toward them. Mark lifted her gently into their carand. Then something unexpected happened. As the cameras pointed at him, officers asked him questions, as the woman tried to look around for him. Mark simply stepped back. He checked Emma, pulled up her blanket, adjusted the stroller handle, and walked away. No name given. No reward taken. No story told. Just a man doing what a father and a decent human should do. But the woman he saved, she wasn't just anyone. She was Alina Hart, the youngest tech CEO in the country, and the story of the mystery hero dad went viral within hours. Alina, injured but recovering, watched the news footage over and over, searching for something familiar in the man's eyes. His gentleness, his quiet strength, his need to disappear. But she didn't know his name, and he didn't want to be found. Yet fate has a strange way of bringing back the people we're meant to meet. A week passed, but Alina couldn't forget him. Reporters kept asking who he was, why he ran, what connection they had. Her board begged her to ignore the incident and focus on the company. Her security team insisted on new protocols, armored cars, private routes. But every night, she replayed the moment she fell into his arms, the warmth, the safety, the certainty that someone in the world put her life before his own without hesitation. She needed to find him, not because he saved her, but because something about him felt unfinished, like the story wasn't supposed to end with him disappearing into the rain. Meanwhile, Mark continued his daily routine early shifts at the repair shop. Lunches at the park, bedtime stories for Emma. He thought the world had moved on. He had no idea that the city's wealthiest woman had placed a quiet search order for a man with honest eyes, strong hands, and a stroller with a tiny red ribbon. Then one morning, as Mark lifted Emma from her crib, his neighbor pounded on the door breathlessly. "Mark, turn on the TV. That woman you saved, she's looking for you." Mark rolled his eyes. "I wasn't looking for attention. It's not that," the neighbor insisted. "Just watch." On the screen, Alina stood behind a podium, hair tied back, bruise still faintly visible. She spoke with a mixture of confidence and emotion. "To the man who saved my life, I don't care who you are or what you do. You're a hero, and you deserve more than slipping away. If you hear this, please, just meet me once. I need to thank you properly." Emma tugged on his sleeve. "Da-da, who lady?" Mark sighed. "Someone Daddy helped." Emma nodded thoughtfully and said, she sad. That simple, innocent truth cut deeper than anything. Maybe Alina wasn't doing this for publicity. Maybe she genuinely wanted closure. Or maybe she just wanted to see him again 2 days later. Mark found himself pushing Emma's stroller toward the city plaza where Alina said she'd be waiting at noon. He told himself he was only going to tell her he didn't want attention. Nothing more, but when he arrived, Alina was standing alone in the quiet sunlight, no cameras, no guards, no reporters. Just her. When she saw him, her breath caught. "It's you," she whispered, stepping forward. Mark nodded awkwardly. "I didn't mean to cause a scene. You saved my life," she said gently. "I just wanted to say thank you." Mark shifted uncomfortably. "Anyone would have done it." "No," she said, eyes softening. "Not anyone. Everyone else just watched." Emma peeked out from the stroller and waved. Alina's face melted instantly. "Hi, sweetheart," she smiled. Emma giggled and hid behind her tiny hands. For a moment, none of them spoke. The city noises faded behind them. It felt like the world had paused just for them. Finally, Alina stepped closer. "I meant what I said. I want to do something for you. A job, money, anything." Mark raised a hand gently. "I don't need anything, Ms. Hart. I just want my daughter to grow up proud of her dad." Alina swallowed, her voice dropping. "She already has a lot to be proud of." Mark blinked, surprised by the sincerity in her tone, and then she said something he never expected. "Maybe we can get coffee sometime? No reporters, no business. Just us." Mark stared at her, stunned. A CEO, a billionaire, a woman who could have anyone she wanted, asking him, a single dad with calloused hands and old shoes, for coffee. He glanced at Emma, who nodded vigorously as if giving permission. Mark smiled softly. "I'd like that." Alina returned the smile, warm, relieved, hopeful. The universe had its way of weaving futures together through the smallest moments. A stumble, a cry for help, a single act of courage. Mark saved her life in the rain, but she was about to change his in ways he never imagined. And as they walked side by side, Emma giggling between them, it became clear. Sometimes heroes disappear into the crowd, but destiny always finds a way to bring them back into the light.